Welcome to Apostle Animations, where we cover the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation, in order. If you're new here, start from the beginning, and if you're back, welcome home. Let's get into it. There was a man, not a prophet, not a king, not a priest, just a man. His name was Job. He lived in the land of Uz, and the scripture introduces him with words that have never been used to describe any other human being in the entire Bible. That man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. Blameless, upright, feared God, shunned evil. Four things, all four, at the same time. And it was not just words. His life backed it up. Job had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household. The scripture says he was the greatest of all the people of the East. This was a man at the absolute peak of everything a human life could be. Righteous, wealthy, respected, surrounded by family, blessed in every direction. And he was careful about his faith in a way that is almost heartbreaking to read. His sons would hold feasts, rotating through each other's houses. And Job would rise early in the morning after every feast and offer burnt offerings for each one of his children. Not because they had sinned, but because he thought perhaps they had sinned in their hearts. Perhaps they had cursed God without realizing it. Every feast, every morning after, 7 sons, 3 daughters, Job on his knees before God on behalf of every single one of them. That is who Job was. And then the scene shifts. The scripture takes us somewhere we have never been before in the story of the Bible. It takes us into the throne room of heaven, into a place where the sons of God, the angelic beings, present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Satan answered the Lord and said,
I prowl its paths, claiming souls as my prey. I report this not in defiance, but in truth. I am the predator, and the world is my territory.
The scripture elsewhere calls him a roaring lion walking about, seeking whom he may devour. And here he is, walking back and forth across the earth, and he has just been asked to give an account of himself before God. Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil?" God brought up Job's name, not Satan. God! He pointed to this man and held him up before the adversary as an example of what a human life devoted to him could look like. And Satan's response reveals everything about how he sees the world. Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now, stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. There it is, the accusation, the oldest lie in the universe. Nobody loves God for free. Nobody worships out of genuine devotion. People serve God because of what they get from him. Take away the blessings, and the worship disappears. Job is only righteous because his life is comfortable. Strip away the comfort, and you will find out what he is really made of. That is what Satan was saying. And God responded with something that has made theologians wrestle for thousands of years. He said, "Yes. Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person." And Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now, there was a day when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, one of the feasts. A normal day for a normal family. And then the messengers started arriving. The first messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, when the Sabaeans raided them and took them away. Indeed, they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands, raided the camels, and took them away, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you." 4 messengers, 4 catastrophes, all arriving before the previous one had finished speaking. The oxen gone, the sheep gone, the camels gone, and the children, all 10 of them, dead under a collapsed house. In a single afternoon, one man lost everything. Then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head. And he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong. The scene returns to heaven. The sons of God present themselves before the Lord again, and Satan comes also among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come? From going to and fro on the earth and from walking back and forth on it? Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him, to destroy him without cause." Without cause. God says those words. Without cause. He knows what has been done to Job. He names it. And Satan is not finished. Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has, he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face. The possessions were not enough. The children were not enough. If you want to find out what Job is really made of, you have to get to his body, his flesh, his pain. Touch that, and he will break. And God said to Satan, "Behold, he is in your hand, but spare his life." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Job sat in the midst of ashes and took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself with it. The greatest man in the East, the most righteous man on the planet, sitting in a heap of ashes, covered from head to toe in open sores, scraping his own skin with a broken piece of pottery. And then his wife spoke to him. She had lost everything too: her children, her wealth, her life. And now her husband sat rotting in ashes in front of her, and whatever grief and anger and exhaustion had built up inside her came out in 7 words. Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die. It is one of the most raw moments in the entire Bible. She is not the villain the way she is sometimes painted. She is a broken woman who has watched everything collapse and can no longer find a reason to hold on. Curse God and die. End it. What is the point anymore? And Job said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this adversity that had come upon him, Each one came from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. For they had made an appointment together to come and mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they raised their eyes from afar and did not recognize him, they lifted their voices and wept. And each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his head toward heaven. So they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his grief was very great. 7 days, 7 nights. Silence. Whatever their failures later in the story, and they will fail, this moment is right. This moment is what grief requires sometimes. Not answers, not theology, not explanations, just presence. Just sitting in the ashes with someone who is suffering and saying nothing because nothing can be said. 7 days of silence. And then Job opened his mouth. And what came out of it was not a hymn, not a prayer of submission, not a quiet and patient acceptance of his suffering. What came out was a man screaming at the sky,